And chief guest of Republic Day celebrations, French President Emmanuel Macron is arriving in India for a pivotal visit this afternoon. To talk about India-France relations, joining me is Professor Swaran Singh from School of International Studies, JNU. Good afternoon and welcome, sir. Now, I understand this is the sixth visit by the French leadership as far as Republic Day celebrations are concerned. How does that put in context the significance that India attaches to India-France relations?
I think, first of all, that the fact that this is the sixth time and that leader from France is the chief guest of India's Republic Day parade shows a mutual, not just political, but emotional connect between two countries. Scholars have sometimes called India the France of Europe or France as India of Europe in that sense, primarily because their worldviews in many ways have been overlapping and sometimes even identical. Both in recent decades, for example, have pushed for multilateralism, autonomy of foreign policy, strategic autonomy in that sense, and are seen as sort of emerging middle powers coming together, especially when you have situations repeatedly of United States often showing that they do not want to take global responsibilities. That creates a certain bonhomie and proximity between India and France, not just important for bilateral relations, but also for ensuring peace and stability in their respective regions in Europe and in Asia-Pacific in that sense. So I think it's not just the bonhomie and chemistry between two leaders and two political systems, but also between two societies as thought leaders as to how they wish to organize world affairs and world order, which shows that there is also both economic relationship rapidly growing. Trade is growing rapidly from about $13 to $14 billion now, but is supposed to grow much faster. India is also negotiating a comprehensive trade agreement with the European Union, where France is a very important player now. And of course, most important is the strong strategic and defense partnership, which is growing between these two countries. And in many ways, therefore, both at a personal level and at the level of various sectors, at the level of nations, France is a very interesting and very, very enduring and reliable partner for India, and so is India for France.
Defense partnership, of course, is particularly crucial. Professor Singh, if we talk about the priorities of the bilateral relationship, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi hosts the French President in Jaipur this evening, what would be those priorities in this edition?
I think clearly several sectors in mutual economic relationship, and the French president has a meeting despite his very tight schedule of about 40 hours in India. He is going to meet business leaders as well as thought leaders in New Delhi. And of course, the whole focus on their framework that Prime Minister and Emmanuel Macron had signed when Indian Prime Minister had gone to Seal celebrations in Paris in July last year. That framework 2047 talks about how the two see their relationship growing in about 25 years in the coming. And I think at the center of it is this whole defense and strategic cooperation, where we have seen sort of in principle agreements for India building Scorpion submarines in India, and of course 26 jet fighters of Rafale. And that in that sense has been an ongoing and enduring relationship from 1980s. But lately, it seems with emerging India being now seen as the fifth largest, going to be third largest economy. France is the seventh largest economy in the world, but also a high-tech power in several sectors. So that complementarity in several sectors across two economies. But of course, most important among them are co-production of jet engines, India producing Scorpion submarines, and of course, import of 26 Rafale fighter jets would be important. I'm not saying that great announcements are likely to be made, because the two leaders just met in July last year. In fact, the two leaders have met 5 times since last May, when there was a G7 summit in Hiroshima. So they meet very often, is a reflection of mutual understanding and partnership that they want to build together. But of course, I think these kind of meetings lead to much greater mutual understanding and trust. And the relationship built on trust can really fructify several of the sort of plans that they have made for themselves. So I think this is going to be another opportunity to leaders to really share notes as to how they want to take forward the decisions that have been made and what new decisions they want to make in coming times.
And tomorrow at the Republic Day celebrations, yet another occasion to witness the close ties between India and France?
Of course, indeed, it's interesting to see how in Vetsil, Indian troops had participated in marching in Champs-Élysées. And tomorrow we will have not just the jet fighters from France, but also contingent on the ground in the parade in Kartavya Marg, also parading along with Indian sort of forces of different kinds. So that again shows enormous coming together. In fact, 2 days back, we just finished a very, very mega air exercise of India, France, and UAE. So there are almost on, every week basis, things are happening between two countries. We had a hockey match in South Africa. Yes. So there are so many things around the world that are connecting India and France repeatedly. But what is most important is the leadership on both sides has a clear mutual trust and understanding about issues and how they wish to take these issues forward. Now, whether it is with the decreasing US interest in Ukraine war makes it is important how the middle powers like India and France can come together and think how to resolve issues like Ukraine war. So in that sense, I think this is a kind of enduring nature of the trust and partnership, which is important. And I think we will see that in the body language of two leaders tomorrow on the Kartavya Marg as well.
Professor Swaran Singh, thank you very much for joining us and sharing your perspective.